hot wings, hot topics, and real estate. Host Ryan Spellerberg keeps it real with agents, investors, and insiders every month. No fluff, just good convo exploring the trends, challenges, and questions shaping today's market. Now, here's your host with over 20 years of lending experience, Ryan Spellerberg.
They're on fire. Hey everybody, Ryan Spellerberg here with another episode of Hot Topics, the mortgage show. So excited. I've got a really good friend that we've been friends a long time. Kendra Harris is here. So Kendra, you know how this works. I'm going to have you start your first wing. It's a medium buffalo from our sponsors at Atomic Wings. Thanks for doing it, guys. So get after that. I'll do your intro. Today's guest is celebrating her birthday tomorrow. So we'd figure we'd give her the best gift we could give her as putting her on camera today. Yep, that's medium. Yep. Kendra Harris is a realtor with the 605 real estate here in Sioux Falls, and with over 20 years in the business across lending, sales, and now coaching and marketing through her platform, Pink House Real Estate. Sorry, you're struggling, and I'm struggling to get through this because it's funny. She might have the most well-rounded resume we've ever seen on this show.
That's a good way to put it.
Kendra, welcome to the show. Thanks for coming. How was the first one?
I might die.
Starting strong. All right.
Wow.
Got it.
Okay.
Okay, so you've worn a lot of hats in real estate over the years.
I have.
Give us a rundown of your time in real estate.
So my dad was a builder, so I grew up in the industry basically, and knew from a young age that I wanted to be in the industry. Just wasn't sure what that looked like. So when Sean and I first got married, we did construction for several years. I got my license in 2006. And I sold through 2012, so we couldn't have really had like a worse time to be in the
Bad time.
Yeah. Let's put all our eggs in one basket during the recession. So, Sean got out of the business and went to work for his dad. He owns Ron's Appliance Repair now, and he has for 14 years. And I went into mortgage. And that's how I met you.
Yep.
So I started at Home Federal. Great place to be. Had some great training. Hopped around to a couple other mortgage companies, kind of got tired of it, and got recruited by Fiserv as a loans trainer.
Got it.
So worked there for 5 years and got promoted a couple times when I was there, was a training manager.
Fiserv is a banking
Bank
software company.
Yep. Anybody that's in banking probably is familiar with
Yep.
that. And then through some different mergers and acquisitions, president changes, they closed all of their local offices. So I knew I'd be losing my job. And that's what led me to RASE, which
What is RASE?
RASE is the REALTOR Association of the Sioux Empire.
Yep.
And I was the education director there for about 3 years. And in the background, I've kind of been planning this whole Pink House real estate thing, which is multifaceted. So I've been planning that for about a year.
We'll get into that here in a little bit. So
Yeah. So that's the short version of a very long story.
that's fantastic. It just gets easier the farther we go on.
How do you get through these?
You're going to be great. Don't worry about it. It's easy. The next one is Nashville Dry Rub. This is just a pepper one. This is really good. This is our
Is
favorite
it less
one.
burny?
It is less burny. That is not a term, but less burny. So you're one of those rare agents that came over from the lending side and never looked back. I don't know anybody would go back into this job, but
No, I enjoyed it.
so how does your background as a previous lender give you a leg up on working with buyers today as an agent?
Well, first of all, I think realtors in general should learn a lot more about mortgage. When I was a realtor before I went into lending, I thought, oh, this will be an easy transition. It was not. That's a tough, steep learning curve. A lot to learn. But sitting now, having all that experience, working with buyers, I mean, I think you're just more aware of like, okay, property condition is going to be an issue if you have, an FHA, VA buyer because of the appraisals. Some of the conventional things are a little easier. And the rules have changed a little bit, since I've been in it, but for the most part are the same. I think, being aware of what people can actually afford is really important. Like you might be pre-qualified at your max dollar amount, but is that really what you should spend? And, being aware of like what's more comfortable versus what you're pre-qualified for, that, especially with the younger homeowners.
That's where I start with people. It's
Yeah.
just, what do you feel comfortable with on a payment? We'll back into
Mhm.
that house price. It's not what you
Yep.
want,
Yep.
maybe sometimes, but it's what you can afford,
Right.
not what I can put on paper and get you approved for. Because there's a difference on that. There
Exactly.
absolutely is. Because we don't factor in daycare unless it's VA.
Mhm.
And, if you're going to the bar on the weekends, none of that stuff gets factored
Yeah.
in.
Like your actual life that you live. You
Correct.
don't want to be, stuck with a giant house payment, not be able to ever do anything else.
Yeah. Yeah. And I do like the fact that you understand government loans, VA, FHA,
Mhm.
those questions. I'll get an appraisal back and half the paint is missing on a house and
Right.
the agent didn't bring it up in any way. How do you not know that?
Right. Right.
Those
That's
are the things.
important.
It's a
Yeah.
big deal.
And I mean, once you've seen it, then you've, hopefully learned from it. And
Mhm.
the next time you have a
Right.
deal, you can be aware of it. But yeah, those are really important things. And I wish that up front, real estate classes taught more of that instead of just the real estate law, which is important too. But, the day to day, the actual stuff. And I think RASE does a good job of training new agents with forms and stuff. But there really isn't any mortgage training.
Yeah.
Definitely something that they could
Maybe we should
seize the
fix that.
opportunity. Yeah.
Got it. I'll get on it.
Yeah.
Sounds good. We'll bring everybody that's going to be an agent on here and make sure they understand.
Perfect.
Fantastic. Okay, next one's Hot Buffalo. Gets a little bit warmer on this one. You'll be fine. It's not bad.
Okay.
So true or false, you hid your friend Carrie in a box at the office and scared the living daylights out of the president of the Realtor Association.
It wasn't the president.
Oh, okay.
We did hide Carrie in a box, though. I think we ordered like big garbage cans for the break room. And so it was just, we seized the opportunity to have her in there. And her and Mark have like this love-hate relationship and they're always flipping each other off. But then they love each other, I think that's how a lot of people feel about Mark, but I love Mark.
I wouldn't say a
so
word. Yep.
We closed Carrie up in the box and I lured Mark into my office and she popped out and scared the daylights out of him.
Did you get it on video?
We did. I do have the video. I'll send it to
We'll
you.
see if we can put a link to that.
Yeah.
I don't know how to do that, but we'll see if we can do it. That's great.
I feel like that one was equally as hot as the first one.
You missed the extra sauce on there, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I
Yeah.
skipped that.
Okay. Next one, mango habanero. This is like sweeter. This shouldn't be too bad
Okay.
at all.
I like the sweet.
It is. And so again, with all your background, who is the perfect client for Kendra? Like, what does a buyer that you want to work with that you feel like you would fit the most?
I don't think anyone wants to pigeonhole themselves, but I think there's a comfort level. Younger agents have friends that are going to naturally be first-time home buyers, things like that. I've been working with a lot of retired people, and I'm actually really enjoying that. And I wasn't expecting that when I, started back up. But I think there's an understanding there, like, I'm more mature. I've been in the business a long
Yep.
time. I think there's a level of respect because of my age, and people just assume that, you're maybe a little bit more senior in what you do. And so, yeah, right now, kind of that,
We call that experience.
yeah, experience.
Yeah.
Now
Now-
that I'm over 50.
You're getting pretty weak on the.
I know. I'm sorry. I
on
did
the-
take a bite. I'll take another bite.
Okay, got it. Yeah, I can't let you buy it with just looking at the window.
I'm
and
doing
calling
better
it
than I
good.
thought I would, though. That first one really scared me.
See, it's easy after that. Okay, so with all the roles you've had in the industry, I'll have you take the next
Oh,
one, which is
already?
atomic. Yep.
Oh, okay. Now I'm getting nervous.
Nope, this one's a good one. So with the roles you've had in the industry, you've got to have some great story. What is the funniest story you have from real estate while you're doing it in any of your roles that you've been in, besides scaring Mark in the office?
Funniest. I'm going to have to think about that one for a second.
We had somebody that was doing a home inspection and the owner was naked in the house.
Thankfully, I have not had that.
So like there's stories like that happen in real estate. We got an appraisal back from a house and there was like a 400-pound pig in the bed
Oh, my.
in the appraisal.
Oh, in the picture.
In the pictures in the appraisal, they had a pig in the bed.
Wow. I've had some scary things. I don't know about funny, though.
Well, let's hear the scary one.
Well, open houses can be scary for female agents. Well, and probably for some male
Yeah.
agents too. But I had a guy that called prior to an open house and asked for directions. And this was this is a long time ago, so it's kind of before everybody had GPS on their phone. So it wasn't that unusual that he would have asked for directions. Um, but I had 2 opens that day. It was when my dad was building, so I had, like, one house on one street and one on another. They were both open, and another gal was hosting with me, and he called me and said, "Is this the ranch style home?" And I said, "No, that's up the street, and so is at that house." Well, it wasn't 5 minutes later, he shows up to the house I was at, and I was like, "Okay, well, this isn't the house you were asking about," and he was really nervous and, like, wouldn't make eye
Throwing out
contact,
signals.
yeah,
Yeah.
just it made me very uncomfortable. So, I had sold a house to the guy next door, and he knew I was having an open. We always chatted, and so I told this guy that was in the house, I was like, "Well, why don't you head up the street to this other house? So and so's up there." I'm texting her, warning her, and I went next door and got the neighbor, and so he came and hung out with me for a while. So, I mean, you do get weird stuff like that. Nothing ever happened with it,
Sure.
but, definitely uncomfortable. And other weird stuff, like, I don't know, maybe it is kinda funny. I was showing houses to a friend, and it was like every house we went in got progressively worse. She wanted a fixer-upper, and this, again, was a long time ago, but we went in a vacant property, and we heard a noise in the basement. Well, there was a bird in there. It's flapping around, it just, like, going crazy, wings everywhere. Wings, not
Wings.
hot wings, so,
Nice
um,
transition.
that was pretty funny. And then we went in another one where there was a dead bird, so then our theme kinda became birds, but that's probably, I don't know.
Did you get her a stuffed bird as a?
No, I should have, though.
Come on, Kendra, you're better than that.
I should have.
Well, okay, so you have to actually tackle the last wing because this is just weak sauce
I
on.
know.
I mean, that's not even a nibble.
I bit it, though.
That's not even a nibble. Let's get on to the last one, which is nuclear.
Okay, are my fingers gonna burn too?
I mean, don't put them in your eye. That's not something I would
I got
do.
toothpaste in my eye the other day.
Well, I don't think that would burn as much as this one's probably gonna make you feel it. So again, you kind of referenced it a little bit, but let's talk Pink House Real Estate.
Mhm.
It's more than just a brokerage from agents and small business owners who feel stuck. What is Pink House Real Estate?
That's
What?
more, do people actually like that?
Yeah, yep. People eat it.
Do
And-
you like? Do you like them? Look at you, ate like all of yours.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a winner. Winners want to win. I mean, like, I'm not a quitter.
Hey, I made an attempt at each one.
I think one more nibble on the big
Oh
one.
gosh.
No, are we tapping? Oh, you didn't even have any in there.
No, it
melted.
Yeah. So, oh well.
The chapstick is popular
Darn
today.
it. Okay.
Yeah,
Sorry, where were
so
we?
Pink House Real Estate, more than just a brokerage. Agents, small businesses who feel stuck. How do you help them in that situation?
Okay, so being at RASE, all the new members that come in, I mean, you kind of get a different perspective that other people don't. You can kind of tell like who's going to be really good, who comes in with a plan. They have maybe some type of experience or they're joining a team, and they're going to do good. But then there's a lot of people that come in and they just don't know. And again, the new classes don't really teach you that. Like, how do I set up a business? I've never ran a business before. What do I need?
You mean it's more than just selling a house?
Yeah, it is. And I mean, there's some things you can't teach, like, professionalism and customer service. That maybe comes more naturally or not naturally. But, setting up a marketing plan, getting a logo, setting up some kind of campaigns, when to post on social media, how to use Canva, all of those types of things are really beneficial because if you're going to get started, you want to start right and, be consistent from the beginning. So that's a big part of it, just looking at new agents and wanting them to succeed.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're doing that nationally, not just locally?
Yeah, nationally. So I've got some contacts in Kansas, Texas, that I've been working with, and then a gal out of Minneapolis that I'm actually working on some consulting with.
Got it.
That's a little bit different angle to the business, but
And don't get that confused with 605 Real Estate where
right,
you hold
exactly.
your brokerage.
Yep.
So,
So I'm a realtor at 605. I call it Pink House Group at 605 so that I can have name and branding consistency. But I do have a separate entity that is Pink House Real Estate LLC, and that is what's built for the consulting and the training.
got it. So if it's anything to do with real estate, you've built it, you've sold it, you've financed it,
Yeah,
you've taught people how to
Yeah.
sell it. I don't know what else you guys need.
I know
mean,
it all comes together.
How you feeling?
I'm okay. That one's
Yeah.
ugh.
I mean, apparently it's not hot if you don't eat the wing. So cheater, Kendra.
No,
Cheater.
I took a bite.
You took a bite. So, okay. So how do people get a hold of you, whether they want to buy, sell a home, or learn more about Pink House Group?
The best way to reach me is just via phone, 605-370-7932. I'm open to helping anyone at any level of real estate with their marketing plan. I love the creative side. I'm really good at that. And even though I'm a realtor, I know that probably feels weird, like, oh, you're my competition. But I mean, everybody's got their own niche. I'm not worried about,
Yeah.
taking business from you or vice versa. I'm just here to help and love doing that kind of stuff.
Got it. Well, thanks for coming. If you guys need to buy, sell a home, or need some education, coaching, Kendra's your girl. Give her a call. Thanks for visiting. Like, subscribe. Thanks again to Atomic Wings.